Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to have a little bit of a gander at the pre-release promos for Paldea Revolved. Of course we do, ladies and gentlemen. Of course we do. Because you see, what happened was that we literally made the video yesterday saying, oh, they're coming, but we don't know what they are. And would you, Adam and Eve, it, one day, the same day, couple hours later, they go and reveal what they are. Well, okay, we knew what they were. I mean, they weren't revealed the artwork. But I promised you, lovely ladies and gentlemen, that as soon as we knew, I would share them with you. I pride myself on being a man of my word. So let's have a gander and let's do what we always do in these situations. Let's go ahead and rank them. So coming in at number 4, and this one's a little difficult for me, but I'm going for Murkrow. Now, artwork-wise, this is beautiful. I love it. It's a beautiful card. It's fine. Now, the first attack, Spin Turn, 10 damage, switch this Pokemon with one of your bench. It's fine as kind of an early game, I need to get out the active so I don't give up a prize kind of thing. That's it, right? Let's not go getting excited about this one. This one's not particularly good. The second attack, however, that is a one where we look at it and we start going, well, hang on a second. This one could be kind of interesting. Because what we've got here is 1 Darkness Energy, United Wings. We've been calling it Unity Wings. It's officially translated as United Wings. This attack does 20 damage for each Pokemon in your discard pile that has United Wings attack. Oh, it's new Night March. Or if you want to go a different route, if you want to go a little bit more recent, it's new Mad Party. And I made this point in yesterday's video, but it really does bear repeating again today. The problem we've got here is that, I mean, Night March is the better comparison. When Night March came around, basically good cards at 180 HP. So all of a sudden, you got 9 Night Marches in your discard pile, and you're KOing most of the good 2-prize Pokemon, and that was a really big deal at that point. That was awesome. That's not where we are nowadays. If you look at something like Gardevoir, for instance, Gardevoir's got 310 HP, although we rounded up to 320 because obviously you're not doing odd damage here, because it's 20 times. And then all of a sudden, you need 16 Pokemon in the discard in order to get a one-hit KO on a Gardevoir. And that's kind of my point here. You're not getting one-hit KOs, you're having to go for 2-hit KOs, and there's your problem right there. It's just not as good as attacks like this have been in the past. In at number 3, I'm going to go for Tinkerton. And look, I don't think Tinkerton is a bad card. I think Tinkerton is a stage 2. And it really is as simple as that. The attack for 2 energy does 180 as long as one of those energy is a special energy. Although, again, you could argue 180 isn't enough to KO most Pokemon V or basic EXs, so maybe you're not even doing enough damage here anyway. But this is, for 2 energy, this is pretty good. And I love the ability here. The ability is amazing. The ability here says that once during your turn, you may discard 1 card from your hand to draw 3. That's a really good draw power. It's a fantastic draw power. I like this. But it's on a stage 2. Is anyone realistically going to play this over something like the barrel, bearing in mind that's a stage 1? Sure, this is a pure, discard 1, draw 3, and the barrel gets up to 5, but the barrel just gets up to 5 and it's a stage 1. Here, it's a stage 2, and that's a problem. And that's why it's not going to see a huge amount of play. I could see this seeing some play, absolutely. And certainly, Tinkerton is in the same evolution line as Tinkerton EX. So absolutely, you could, combine the two and that would be lovely. But the reality of the situation is that this is just most of the time, it's going to be the kind of card that people look at and they go, oh, that's kind of cool. And then they're going to go, oh, it's a stage 2. And that's the reason it's just not going to see enough play. Sorry. Now, in at number 2, we've got ourselves another card that is kind of a bit similar to Tinkerton. It's Palapa. And honestly here, there is a very strong argument that the reason I put Palapa in at number 2 rather than number 3 is because Palapa's a stage 1 rather than a stage 2. It might genuinely be that simple, honestly. Because the fact of the matter is, again, we've got a decent card here. This is very much a decent card. Now, the attack is not. The attack is garbage, right? The attack's terrible. The attack is free energy 90, nobody cares. But the ability says, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you can choose to either put a supporter card from your discard pile into your hand, or search your deck for a supporter card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. So basically, you get a card either from your discard pile, a supporter, or you get it from your deck. And the wonderful thing about that is that there's no worrying. We've seen abilities that get supporters from the discard, but if you haven't played or discarded any yet, you can't use it. We've seen abilities that get supporter cards from the deck, but the problem with that is if you've used them all, there's none available in your deck to go and use. Here, no matter where they are, you're golden, you can use it, job's a good one, this is great. The problem is it's a stage 1 and it's kind of a one-shot deal. And I do believe that people will use it as a stage 1 as a one-shot deal, let's be clear. I do think it's still good enough to use in that scenario, but I also think that it's not quite good enough. And I need to mention Scoop Up Nets Rotated. That's the one that lets you pick up a non-V, non-GX Pokemon and put it in your hand. So with Scoop Up Net, one option you would have here would be essentially to play 2 Wingull down, and then you draw into your Palapa, evolve it, use the ability, you leave a Wingull on the bench sitting there, and then the next time you draw Scoop Up Net, you scoop up your Palapa, evolve your Wingull, use the ability, and then bench the Wingull to do it again in the future, and it would basically turn the item card Scoop Up Net into grab any supporter you like from anywhere. That would be great, but we don't have Scoop Up Net at the moment. I still think it's going to see a bunch of play, and to be clear, I love the artwork on the Palapa here, it's beautiful, but I think this is, again, slightly underwhelming. Which means number 1 in a landslide, and it's not even close, is Excalibur. Excalibur is ridiculous. As a side note, I should mention, Palapa's going to be busted in a pre-release, and Tinkerton's going to be really good as well. So in pre-releases specifically, they're going to be great. But if we're talking standard format, Excalibur by a mile. And here's what makes me sad. I've made it quite clear on this channel a number of times. I love Kato artwork. And Kato's a number 3 for me behind Okacheke and Haganosuke, and that's fine. But I love Kato artwork. So when I see that there is a supporter card that is being drawn by Kato, I look at that and I'm like, that's amazing, I want that card. It is by a mile the best of the pre-release promos, and it's not even close. Like, if Kato had done the Murkrow, I think I'd be able to trade for this really easily. As it is, I need to pull Excalibur in my pre-release kit, because there is absolutely no way I'm going to be able to trade for this reasonably, because, quite reasonably, everyone wants this. It's a phenomenal card. Now, the attack is irrelevant, but the ability Super Cold says, as often as you like during your turn, you may attach a basic water energy from your hand to your Pokemon. So basically what you do here is you just put as much energy as you like into play whenever you like, and it's beautiful. Don't forget, we do have a lovely alternate art of it, which has actually been officially revealed in English, which is cool. And the fact of the matter is, when you combine this with Chen Pao, this makes a great deck. A deck that seems to have a lot of potential, but is already seeing play and success over in Japan. No, it didn't win their most recent Champions League. Gardevoir got first and second. But that doesn't mean it's not a great deck. It is. Chen Pao's got the ability to, when it's active, you can grab 2 water energy from your deck and put them into your hand, which is ridiculous. And then Excalibur lets you attach them. And then Chen Pao's got the ability, or the attacker should say, Hail Blade, 2 water energy, discard any amount of water energy from any of your Pokemon, and it does 60 damage for each card that you discarded in this way. So that's potentially like unlimited damage here. This is ridiculous. The pair of these cards are great, and the thing is, the other pre-release promos, we've got Murkrow, cool little rogue deck, not going to be good enough. Tinkerton, lots of potential but a stage 1. Palapa, good ability but it's a one-shot on a stage 1. And then Excalibur, yeah, fine, it might be a stage 2, but it's also part of an amazing deck. And that makes Excalibur number 1 by a mile, and it's not even close. So why did this have to be the Kato artwork? And as a side note, look how good the artwork is. I'm not even a huge Excalibur fan here. I adore this artwork. I think it's stunning. Hey ho. Well, now you know them, ladies and gentlemen, so now it's over to you guys. Tell me which of these you like. Tell me which one you're going to be rooting for. Tell me if there's one other than Excalibur that you are going to be wanting. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, all kinds of fun things. And get shoutouts on the channel, like the lovely Martin Cornwall, who's been a big supporter of PTCG Radio since back when we were just a fledgling podcast. I'm talking 11 years ago. So shout out to Martin for over a decade of support and being awesome. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.